At a point in life, you need to get serious.
Welcome to another episode of Grow with Brif, a show where we talk to entrepreneurs on the African continent about their businesses, exploring the profits and challenges involved in building a business in Africa.
It's one of Jim Rohn's strategies to become successful. You need to get smart, you need to get going, you also need to get serious. There's 5 of them. And in getting serious for me meant, how do you establish this? And how could you be known for it and be known for it properly? And that's where professionalism and having an open mind comes to play. Because you need to almost unlearn everything you think you know about business and learn what it really means to run a business.
And today, I paid a visit to the renowned award-winning fashion designer and actor Elikem Kumordzie, the tailor, to learn about what it takes to build a global fashion brand business in Africa. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, share this video with somebody, and stay inspired.
Yeah. University of Ghana was some of the beautiful days of my life, to have gone to the University of Ghana. And I always wanted to go to school, as far as I remember, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do or what I wanted to become, except for an actor. And I only wanted to become an actor because I used to watch your Denzel Washingtons and your Will Smiths, and I saw myself in them, or I saw them in me, whichever one it may be. And so when I went into the University of Ghana and I got drama, theater arts, I was happy, I was excited. All the other courses didn't really matter. Then the psychology of it was also interesting when I read it, and so I could easily understand. So those were the 2 subjects that I loved the most. I got also linguistics and archaeology, and I dropped them as we went. Now at level 300, I couldn't pay my school fees going forward. Tuition became a problem, and I was like, you know what? Just chill. You're not enjoying the school anyway. I'm missing classes. You know, as Biggie said, skipping classes. And so, but smoking weed was not my daily routine. The other boys was, if you get that joke. And this is me just giving up on school in the moment because, you know, I wasn't understanding class. I wasn't understanding linguistics. I wasn't understanding archaeology. I was just doing it because of school. So I literally took a break. And, you know, it's only later on in life I'm learning these other things that made sense, the kind of trajectory I started. And that they say in isolation, a man reaches elevation. And so I kind of isolated myself out of school, and that's where my elevation came. And again, in adversity, a man finds himself. So this is me being in adversity, not being able to pay tuition and staying home. And I just go to Kantamanto to buy clothes. I used to love to buy clothes. Anytime I get some 100 Ghana, 200 Ghana, I did shada, I did shop. But you know, I can't buy the expensive clothes and I can't get what I want because in Ghana, we didn't have your departmental stores like your Zara's and your H&M's or your Mr. Price of late, where you can go and pick up, you know, like a nice clean white t-shirt and get it in blue and get it in green and get your jeans to match your shoes. You have to do the Kantamantos, go to the bend down, go to the corners. You know, some boys, when the bill open, the boys will call you, say, Charlie, the sneaker, they want some call. So I used to go to the Kantamanto and pick up the white shirts or your jeans. I change the patch, the pockets. I change the buttons. I was very handy. I was very good with my hands. So I'll change buttons. Then there was this shop at Joel called Hot Tees. They used to print on t-shirts. So I'll take the shirts there and I'll print like a drapey, like a chocolate drip effect, and put my name. And so when I wore these shirts out, everybody will be asking me, Elikem, is that your name? Oh, nice. Did you make this shirt? I say yes. And then that's where I started getting 1 or 2 orders. And you know, because I was home and I was broke, I wasn't able to pay tuition going forward. Again, in adversity, a man finds himself. I found myself taking these orders from these individual customers and finishing their clothes for them. Now, this is how I branched into fashion. I now needed to create certain colors and certain designs. People were getting creative. They wanted new things. They wanted different things. So now I have to buy fabric, which is a lot available in Ghana, more than clothes itself, more than ready-to-wear clothes. I go buy fabric, and then I have to now create the design that the people want before putting the print on them. And this, compelled me to outsource tailors. And I read somewhere something that, made change my whole ideology about entrepreneurship. That said, an entrepreneur doesn't need to know how to do the job. You just need to find the right person. So this is me finding the right tailors around and across board to help them stitch for me. Now, the problem with the Ghanaian tailor, the average Ghanaian tailor, is timing and disappointment. So I get there and they give me a time in a day and they haven't finished the clothes. So it's out of frustration that I started sitting down and trying to use the machine now. I've always been very handy. From, when I was a kid, I used to build my own basketball rims, mount them up. I used to use a saw. My dad was a building contractor, so I used to go with him to sites, and I'll take hammers, nails, and I'll build and create things. So this is me just understanding the machine by watching what these individual tailors did in their containers, and that was almost the birth of me becoming a tailor and a fashion designer. Out of nowhere, out of adversity, I found myself, and I was able to save money and afford one machine that I started with on the porch of my father. Then again, learning made me understand that to become a successful entrepreneur, you don't need to start as a big business. You can start on a tabletop in front of your father's garage, and that's what I did. Some of the best entrepreneurs in the world, some of my favorite entrepreneurs in the world, started on a tabletop. So I started literally on my father's porch in my house, and today I can boast of my own, storefront with other shops around it as real estate the business owns that we rent. Another trick is to own the real estate where you operate from. And that's what I've been able to build and establish. And I'm very grateful for my journey. I made a post on Instagram the last time about my 10-year journey, and it looked amazing to me. I love it. Well, first of all, I love to talk about this fabric, these ones. It came as a group of fabrics from a guy in America who wanted to sell the bunch to me. He sold to me almost 500 yards of different types. This is all the same type. And one thing I love about this fabric is the more you wash it, the more timeless it looks, because it has a fade effect, but not really fade. And so this is my favorite fabric of the day. It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. Same with this fabric, same with this fabric, same with this. It's one of the things I'm loving right now. And, generally we're trying to branch into ready to wear. And so we're lately big on the finishing of the shirts and finishing some shirts that can be purchased off the rack. I'll speak about this piece also. This is from the Tailor Sequence, was a fashion collection, a sequence collection with the fashion film Pilolo. And this is just a unique piece with a touch of bling on the neck that some men really love to patronize it. Oh, of course. And one of my other favorite ranges are the linens. The linens are very natural fabric, almost as natural as these ones. The linens are more natural than these ones, but these also have a natural tone to them. I love the linens lately. They're soft on the skin, just straightforward and easy to, run around with. And of course, a little bit of a detail and accent over there to throw it off the edge. Always. Yeah, so, we recently also branched into ready-to-wear for ladies. And our subsidiary brand, Zlac, does the ladies stuff. And we've got a whole bunch of ladies things, in and around. Yeah, that's about it. You can't do the job alone. You need the right people as an entrepreneur that wants to grow. So although I started alone, eventually I was looking for people to help support the business. People who are better tailors than I, people who are better finishers than I, people who had a better business sense than I. And one of my most challenging things, even till date, is finding the right people. You'll always find people, and even though they could be the right people, they might not stay with you forever. And so I find myself still finding people to help me achieve the bigger picture, the bigger dream. And I believe that with time, the right people fall in place and the right things happen. All you need to do is wake up and show up and keep working at your job. At a point in life, you need to get serious. It's one of Jim Rohn's strategies to become successful. You need to get smart. You need to get going. You also need to get serious. There's 5 of them. Must have forgotten the other 2. And in getting serious for me meant, how do you establish this? And how could you be known for it and be known for it properly? And that's where professionalism and having an open mind comes to play. Because you need to almost unlearn everything you think you know about business and learn what it really means to run a business. Everything is learned. And so for me, I became a sponge and a learner of life and business to understand what it takes to run a business. So I ended up buying some books from Harvard, some books that were written by Harvard students on communication, on business and so on, that I have never finished reading till date. But that's the good thing about learning. Only one line, one page can change your whole idea about everything. And so I still encourage to read. Even though you won't read everything, just try to read. You know, and so it's my continuous search for knowledge on becoming a successful entrepreneur, a successful businessman that's keeping me here. And also the willingness to wake up and do something for a long time so I'm known for that particular thing. And, you know, so far so good. It's been a little over a decade and we're still running. We're not even 1% done. There's 99% more to go. Whew, it's a lot of work. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm supposed to be some kind of a celebrity myself. People call me. So these other celebrities that you mentioned feel like my friends, you know, colleagues, so to speak. And so there's a joy and happiness when I see my colleagues and friends loving my products and appreciating it, you know, but there's also that fulfillment naturally as a designer, that for people in general to wear my clothes. So it's not a tunnel vision celebrity, because believe me, there's a lot of non-celebrity folks that rock the clothes better and even pay better, you know. But I guess my focus is more on the international platform, the global platform. Those celebrities are my target of celebrities. But so far, the celebrities I've addressed, the 80% of them, my colleagues and friends, and I'm happy that they love and patronize my clothes. Some of them patronize, and you know, some of them they just want to wear for free, for nothing. So this is my latest release. I call it Kuku. Kuku in my language means hat. And this hat was birthed from the fact that, you know, I had to always cover my face because I had a small issue of hyperpigmentation. And so blocking myself from the sun, and then I started loving going to Keta. And there's a lot of sun in Keta. So this Kuku, if you want to slang it, say Kuku. This Kuku hat is actually covered by Kente. Kuku is originally a straw hat from Asia, from Vietnam, and they originally call it the non-la. Non-la is a hat that protected the farmers from the rain and the sun. And there's also another story about how a fairy godmother dropped from the sky to shield them, and it was a form of a hat, and then it started the culture. But eventually it's become like a fashion, staple fashion in Asia. And I have adapted it in Ghana to, you know, and become very fashionable with it. Again, it was to cover me from, you know, the sun, to protect me from hyperpigmentation, and everybody loved it. And I thought, why couldn't I make fashion out of it? And this one was originally made, you know, by myself, handmade, everything to the pulp. I welded everything and cut everything, and I put it online for $1,000, and people were screaming. No one has been able to afford it yet, so I keep rocking my hat, if it's ever a hat. It's getting there. We're growing. Everything in its due time. I won't criticize this too much. I would say, sometimes it took Colonel Sanders 60 years to blow, the KFC man. And it takes a lot more other people to bloom late. And so if Ghana fashion is going to be 60 years old before we bloom and become a global sensation, we'll take our time. But the one thing I'd like to advise my colleague fashion and creatives is to be intentional about a little bit of the element of Ghana in our clothing and to project the work as much as we can. Like, let your work be seen. Let your achievements be seen. And like musicians do, they'll take time, studio, do the music, promote it, shoot a music video, put themselves on a cover. They go all out marketing. If we're able to do that, and for some reason, the originality you bring to your clothes blow, then we blow as Ghana. Ghana is a big sensation on an international football scale because of the kind of game Ghanaians played on an international football field. There are some modern times in the South Africans. Ghana is known for soccer. Everywhere you go, we are from Ghana. Oh, soccer, Samuel Gyan, Ahmedi Pele. And so individuals project Ghana to the world. And if only we put an element of Ghana in our work, something will pick up, something will blow. And fashion, it's just a matter of time. We've got amazing fashion designers in Ghana, like amazing. Like I look at some of the work coming out from Ghana, I'm like, oof, the competition is hard, it's tough. Also the rest of Africa, Nigerians and the South Africans and so on and so forth. But we're doing well, and collectively we can do better. So we've set up a branch in South Africa right now. We are live in South Africa. It's called the Tailor SA. We have a point in Joburg, and we have a couple representatives that go around, do the measurements. Also, we have an online store where we sell ready to wear, and that's already global. Anywhere you are in the world, you can order on elikemkumordzie.store. It's a Shopify account. We're doing pop-up shops in the Americas soon. So for now, we've only expanded South Africa, but for our short-term plan in the next 5 years is to have a physical brick and mortar space where people can come and have an experience in a concept store in Joburg, and also spread our wings into Atlanta and New York. And then we look at other places. Our online store is on and firing now, but the long-term goal is to stay global and stay retail. Now, I'm not trying to have a physical store everywhere around the world, because nowadays, you don't need a brick and mortar too much. But we're planning to be able to sell to the world through our online portal, which is already on. So it's more push in the online space, and we're trying to acquire real estate for the brand Elikem the Tailor. So everywhere you see us as a physical store will be a real estate owned by the brand. And this is my short-term, long-term goal for the brand. I'm not too sure about being a business owner elsewhere. I'm yet to try those waters. South Africa was just launched a few months ago. I'm going there to push the vibe. But already we realized certain tax differences in setting up the business and, keeping the business and residency and so on with my guy Joseph. And it's clearly a different terrain. In Ghana, you are not explained into details the processes and the revenues. Sorry, wrong wording. You're not explained on the onset. Let's say, for example, I want to register a business. In SA, the experience we had was they explained to us everything is going to entail for you to own that business in terms of your taxes and what you need to pay, your business operating permits and so on and so forth. But in Ghana, I didn't get that experience. Maybe it's my ignorance and I was supposed to look for it somewhere, but I was a young man, 20-something, 21, 22 years old, trying to set up a business. And all I did was I was advised to go register the business. Now, 2, 3, 4 years later, someone walks in and they want business operating permits. They want signboard something fees. They're asking for your GRA clearances, your tax payments, your insurances. Even a fire service person walks in and asks, where's your fire extinguisher? So ignorance is no excuse, especially of the law. However, I appreciated how South Africa explained to me what it entails to own and run a business, as opposed to the Ghana where I never got that from the onset, and I had to be slapped with this new, that new every single day. And I understand that give what belongs to Caesar, because what the taxes run the country, if they ever even run in the country. We'll just give it to them, doesn't matter. But not knowing, creates a certain kind of, this again today and that again today. And that's been one of my biggest problems operating in Ghana and the Ghanaian field. Aside that, the attitude with work, I think, is normal everywhere in the world. People just don't take their work seriously if they're not serious about it. And it's on the leader to make the work environment juicy enough for your employees to come in on time, to be strict and disciplined with their work, and to finish for you on time. So I never blame the people we work with, I blame myself. And is there anything I can change? I do. And if your employee is the real problem, fire them. Because again, what learning brought me to understand was be slow to hire, but be quick to fire. And I try that sometimes. It works. Try it. Just fire. Get to work one day. Let someone do something small, like be late 1 minute, and fire them. Works magic. Motivation is needed to start. I believe motivation is needed to start. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Dubai for 6 months and I was down and out. And I started listening to a lot of Les Brown. And Les Brown is a motivational speaker, amazing one. And he got me started. Then I continued with your Jim Rohns and so on. And I remember just listening to him and feeling motivated and just wanting to try out the things he was explaining in his motivational speeches. And then I kickstarted. You could have said I had a paradigm shift of a sort. And I moved from being one person to the other. But then I realized that motivation was not enough. This is me coming back to Ghana. Then that's when I opened the shop at East Legon. I was pumped up. And then I started getting worn out. And then I wasn't consistent with anything. And that's what there's a word said from Pastor Bernard, that without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency and discipline, you'll never finish. So now I had to find the discipline of things. And I didn't think it was the word discipline. I didn't think it was called discipline. I didn't think I had to be disciplined. I only thought waking up and trying to do some sort of hard work of a sort was okay. And one thing that taught me a lot of discipline, that makes me understand what discipline and consistency means, was my push-ups and my early morning routines. When I wake up in the morning, I have to do 2 sets of 50 push-ups before I get out. And you can see the change in my body. And I'm consistent with my intermittent fasting, and you can see the change in my body. And that's how I started understanding discipline, that you have to be consistent to some extent. And being disciplined also began to mean that even if you don't want to do it, you have to do it. And so when I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling weak, and I'm still feeling sleepy and groggy and whatever the word may be, I have to get down on my belly flat and push my hand up and push myself down and keep pushing myself till it's 50. That's discipline. I don't want to do it, but I need to keep pushing myself up and down till it's 50, whatever it takes. And guess what? It only takes 1 minute or less to do 50 push-ups. If you do each push-up on a 1 second tick, 1 minute out of your whole morning. And yet we wake up in the morning and spend an hour on TikTok or an hour on Instagram before we shower. And so that for me changed my whole ideology of discipline. Like, you need to be consistent and do what you don't even feel like doing, but doing it anyway. That's how you get results. That's the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation gets you started nice and quick and hot-blooded, but discipline and consistency finishes you. Stay at it. Know what you want to do. Learn learn in and around the field and just keep applying what you're learning nice and slow. Give yourself 10 years. Like, don't expect to eat in the first year or second year of your business. You can break even and be happy. So as an entrepreneur, businessman, starting from the beginning, I didn't do this, but I advise people to learn off of someone or learn in general. If you don't want to be a mentee, you can just learn in general. You can go, YouTube can teach you a lot. There are books, there's biographies of people that can teach you, especially in the field you're doing. So dig into the field, be sure of the field, and then learn around it. And you can be anything, trust me, you can become the best artist in the world. You can become the best portrait artist by pencil by just learning it. You just need to find a passion in or around the field and stick with it for a very, 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 very long, consistent, disciplined time. So get motivated and get disciplined and stay at it. Like, I'm going to do fashion till I die.